All right, I think we're live. All
Hey
right,
guys.
well, hey, so my name is Eric, and I work on the partnerships team at YouTube. This is Matthias. We'll do a little introduction in just a second, but we also have Chelsea and Brandon from Beautylicious Insider channel joining us as well. Welcome, guys.
Hey guys.
How you guys doing?
It's nice to be able to chat with upcoming creators. So thank you guys also for joining this. I know and I've been where you're at. So I mean, I'm excited to tell you guys how I've gotten to where I'm at and how we're kind of growing. So I make YouTube videos about beauty, fashion, and all that type of stuff. But I'm trying to incorporate more advice videos because that's what I'm very interested in now. That's what I kind of want to do when I'm older. So I kind of try to inspire the younger generation and just be a positive role model for them. So that's basically what I do. I am approaching 1 million subscribers, so that's pretty exciting. I'm honestly appalled that that's even happening, but
It's great.
So yeah, I'm excited to be joining this thing. So.
Very cool. Well, we're very lucky to have you. Thanks again. And I just want to tell the audience really quickly before we get started, just kind of a recap of what we're going to be talking about today. So we're actually going to be running through audience development tips, ways to help grow your channel. Just quickly, we won't necessarily be talking about copyright or monetization or policy, very specific things, detailed questions as well that might be specific to only a subset of channels. But rest assured, we have a lot of good things that we're going to be talking through today. As Chelsea mentioned, she's been a very successful channel in a very short amount of time. So we're looking forward to sharing some tips and tricks along the way. And also I want to mention too, so thank you to everyone who submitted their questions beforehand. We've got a lot of great questions from the pre-event registration as well as from the Google Plus events page. Feel free to use this Q&A app in the Hangout itself, and we can look through those, and we'll have time to ask a few at the end of these questions as well. And also note that if you're watching via the YouTube Creator Academy channel on the YouTube website, you can actually submit questions there as well. But yeah, like I said in the beginning, Matthias and I work on the partnerships team at YouTube, and so what we do is we work with channels to really help them grow and continue developing their audience. And so with that, I'll actually let Matthias kind of give the brief introduction to Chelsea and Brandon, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, hello everyone. Like Eric said, my name is Matthias. I'm on the partnerships team. So happy to have Beautylicious Insider here with us to speak today. Ready to learn a lot from both of them. Chelsea did mention this a bit, but yeah, Beautylicious Insider is one of the fastest growing channels on YouTube. 941,000 subscribers since I last checked and counting. So a really fast growing channel and 94 million total views, which is a big milestone. That's very impressive. So. Just real quick, how would you describe your channel to someone maybe who's never seen it before?
I'd describe it as a one-stop shop for teens, and even I get a lot of college people watching my videos just for inspiration on daily life struggles and just makeup tips and the simple stuff like that, but then also I try to relate to people in a way that's natural and comes across I'm just a small town girl from Midwest, and a lot of people are, so I just kind of try to relate to people. So
awesome. Yeah. And maybe you can walk us through just how you got started on YouTube. I mean, what was the first days of uploading like for you?
Well, this guy standing next to me is my dad, by the way. But he didn't start getting involved until I think around a year after I started my channel. It was around there. But the reason that I started my channel is I got very inspired by different YouTubers like Michelle Phan and Juicy Star 07. I really liked those channels, but Michelle Phan was the prime person that I was totally inspired by, because I used to watch comedy videos growing up all the time in middle school. I started going into 8th grade, summer of going into 8th grade, I saw one of her videos, got inspired, started putting up videos. I did Nicki Minaj tutorials. That was awful. I was not good at that. And then I don't know, I just had such a fascination of being able to record myself and just getting audience feedback, and just the fact that someone from around the world can get access to a video that someone made in a completely different area. It's mind-blowing, but I just progressively started doing that more often and just got advice from other people and, started making friends, and I entered this thing called the Nick's Face Awards, which really like spiked my channel. I got exposure from like a major makeup brand, so that was what pretty much set me out there a little bit, and then the rest was just a lot of hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe you could just give us the brief overview of how you chose your name. How did you choose Beautylicious Insider?
Okay, so each part was a progress. I knew I wanted to do videos on like beauty because ever since I saw Michelle Phan, I was like, dang, like I love makeup now. Like I'm inspired by this, so I wanted to have beauty in there. So I like wrote that down on a piece of paper, and then Licious, I was like obsessed with this brand of lip gloss by Victoria's Secret, and they had some lip gloss out then. I think it's discontinued now, but it had Licious in it or something. So I was like, Beautylicious, that's so cool. And then the last word, like, it took me forever because, I don't know, I was just really trying hard to find something that just clicked together. And so I went to Sephora, and they have this, like, insider program. And so I signed up for that, and I was like, that could be the third part of my name. So it just flows well together, and I don't know, I liked it for a long time, but eventually all my videos won't be about that because I want to get more into like motivational speaking and stuff like that. So I'm thinking of just changing it to my, name on my Google Plus page, which is my name, Chelsea Crockett. But a lot of YouTubers are doing that nowadays because, I don't know, branding and stuff like that. It's just a prime thing to do.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I think we'll probably get to that a little later, but just in terms of like understanding what type of content to make and how to brand your channel, I think you've done an awesome job to have like a really cool banner and an icon and all of the things that really represent your personality. So I think that's it's great to see, and I think it really makes your channel stand out as well.
Yeah. Speaking of success on YouTube, can you pinpoint a specific moment where you kind of realized that, wow, I'm doing a really cool thing and my channel's made it?
Well, I think there's specific videos that I've done that's gotten a lot of positive feedback where I was like, wow, this is just something totally different and new that like everyone could experience this. If they only knew like how awesome this is and how rewarding it is to start a channel, and just having those certain moments, whether it takes like 1 to 2 years or even 5 years to even understand like how awesome these certain moments are. It's just certain videos I put out there, like I did one on body image, and I got so much positive feedback on that because I don't have like the stereotypical, view of that type of stuff, and I think people just admire honesty and truthfulness, and so, one of those videos that was like, this is really cool, and I can definitely like make an impact in the world. And then Nick's Face Awards, like I said, it was a totally like online competition in the beginning. It started with like 30 different people, and it narrowed down to 6 contestants. I got flown out to LA. I presented in front of like, I think an audience of almost like 1,000.
Yeah, it was close to 1,000.
Yeah. And I was like 13, I think, standing on a stage shaking and talking to Perez Hilton. So it was something different. So that was another milestone. So that's basically when I started realizing this is something huge and different.
Yeah, definitely. And I guess along the way, so you make a few videos, you have some success. I mean, where did you learn how to grow your channel? Like, where did you learn some of like the YouTube tips and strategies, and how did you go about doing that?
Well, being a YouTuber, you like, get to go to these events. Well, you don't get to, but you realize that there's VidCon and there's all these different types of events that are associated with YouTube and like Playlist Live, and so you go there and some people just recognize you from your videos, and you're like, this is kind of cool. And then you see other creators on there that you personally know, and sometimes they know you, so you just kind of form a friendship with them. And I think over the years I've had some really good friends that when I see them in person, it's just like I've known them for a long time, because internet's such a powerful thing now. You can really, understand a person just from a camera. And so I think just making those friends and stuff just kind of helped me get the tips that I needed, because we all have certain creative minds and we work well together.
Right.
So I am not as strong as on certain things as my other friend might be, Rachel, or Sail Beauty 101. She's just like growing like crazy right now too. So she's given me tips on like thumbnails and just how to get someone to click on your video and just having, good tips like that. So
awesome, that's great. So I mean, where would you recommend then, like kind of new or aspiring creators go to learn more about tips and things for their channel? You're still there? We'll pause for just a minute and let them join again. But hang on, because we'll should be joining in just a minute.
Now can you see us?
We can hear you.
Okay, you can hear me? All right,
Wait,
hold on.
You're not. You have it off.
Now, can you see us now? I'm trying different
No,
cameras.
you have it off still.
All right, now can you see us?
Not yet.
Okay, hold on a minute. We're still trying, guys. Sometimes, we get technical difficulties. That's part of it, though.
We'll post edit this all out.
Okay. All right, we're going to try different right here. Hold on. All right, can you see us now?
Not yet.
Not yet? All right, keep trying.
But we can still hear you.
Okay. Well, we're trying. We apologize.
There we go. We see you now.
We got you back.
Sorry. All right, where were we?
Sometimes the internet happens, and sometimes you lose your connection, so we apologize. So, what was your question again?
Yeah, the question was, where would you recommend, maybe outside of like VidCon, like people go to learn more about their channel, or what some tips and things like that?
Can I answer this one, or?
Sure. Yeah.
I kind of run the backbone of how this whole thing operates, and one thing you could do is just get on YouTube itself and go watch videos. And I mean, also Google has some great programs that you can join, and actually Google has like an academy that they can teach you how to do your first video, how to do lighting, what kind of recording equipment that you need, etc. And as you continuously start to do it, and you do it over and over and over again, you learn more and more, and you get connected with other YouTubers, and you like what they did and how they do things, and so you just start asking questions and just be observant. See how other people are doing it that are successful, and then mimic them. Don't reinvent the wheel. I mean, the wheel's already been invented for you, so go and see what they're doing and contact them if you can. Say, hey, how did you do this or do that? But Google itself is a great resource. Make sure that you go through the academy, and where you found this link to even watch this video. There's a lot of stuff that surrounds this whole thing that should be able to teach you how to do this.
Yeah, I agree. I think following those other channels that you like, and especially being inspired to be creative, that's a big part. But also even some of like the tactical stuff on YouTube, like what should go in a description or how to title a video. That some of those things you can actually learn from other successful channels.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, like, in terms of just video content, that's like more than, I can't describe how important that is. Like, the way you put your videos together, like, just having consistency with the way that your videos look, and, always just, being energetic on camera. I used to be completely different on camera, but just evolving on YouTube, you kind of adjust.
Mm-hmm.
But also, just like searching for, if you use Final Cut Pro or something like that for editing, I've looked up online for different transitions and things you can put on top of the video that makes it look freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff just adds so much to it, and people really appreciate the extra effort with that. So even if it costs a little extra money, it's worth it.
But if you guys have some specific questions, maybe we can go into that a little bit later, or something like, specific of what do you use for video or what do you use for lighting or something. We can answer those questions at that time as well.
Yeah, definitely. We'll hop to the Q&A in a little bit.
Okay.
Cool. How do you measure your success on YouTube? Like, do you look at certain metrics like maybe views or subscribers, or do you look at fan engagement?
Well, I eat and sleep this, as you can tell. I mean, you guys didn't endorse this or anything. I bought this on my own. I'm a YouTube nut, so I'm really big into the analytics, the number of subscribers that you can see on there. It updates every day. And matter of fact, YouTube has a new thing. It's real-time analytics.
That's awesome.
And
I
you
like
can
that.
actually see, when you put a video up, how much of an engagement your audience is doing.
Instead of saying 301 plus, you're like, oh, 301. Okay.
And so I really look at the engagements, the subscribers, the number of views, and then view time. View time is very important as well, because when you look at view time, for an example, let's say that you have a 5-minute video. You'll want to, we try to strive to hit 60-70% view time. So we want a 3.5 minute to a 4-minute view time. So what that means is that we want people to, yes, stay for the whole 5 minutes, but if they click off and go to another video, you want them to at least be there for 3.5 to 4 minutes. Now, then again, that's an example on a 5-minute video. If it's a 10-minute video, you want them there 7.5, 8, 9 minutes. So if you don't see that, you don't see those numbers, then you probably need to readjust your video techniques.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I mean, one of the things I always talk about in analytics is audience retention. So it's the amount of time that someone stays on the video. And there's a lot of reasons for it. I mean, one big one is that YouTube actually uses the amount of time someone watches the video as a signal for a lot of the ways that we show videos in search results and suggested. It's a good indicator to us that a video is engaging and good and interesting to the audience that finds it. Not just the title is good or the thumbnail looks cool, but it's actually an interesting video that fits what people are looking for.
And one last thing is that when we also put a video up, it's kind of cool to see the thumbs. The thumbs up or the thumbs down. If you get a bunch of thumbs down, you did something wrong. You're automatically going to get a couple thumbs down. That's just the way that this thing rolls. But
some people race to even get the first thumbs down. I'm like, all right, cool. They're like, I like this video, but no one's thumbs it down yet, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah. That's just part of it, though.
Yeah.
But that's a great question.
Great. Well, I was going to kind of go into the thumbnails and just kind of some of the strategies around that. How do you guys go about creating thumbnails for your videos?
I use this thing. I know a lot of people use just Photoshop, but I feel like that's too technical for me. I use this thing called PicMonkey, picmonkey.com, and you can just upload. I know for me personally, when I'm editing, I'll always remember to record a clip of what I want my thumbnail to be. So I'll record myself and then screenshot it, where you can just screenshot what you're doing, and then you upload it to this thing.
Oh, we might have lost him again.
Can you still hear me?
You're back.
Yeah, you're back.
Okay.
Can you
Anyways.
still see me all right? Because I'm showing my light off again.
Still frozen, but you can keep talking if you want, and then we can.
Okay, go ahead, Chelsea.
So what I was saying with PicMonkey is that so I'll upload this picture, and then I'll usually put something on top of it, like say an emoji if it's a funny video, like a crying face emoji, just so that people know that it's going to be a funny video. And then I always up the saturation because people like brightness and color. Either that or it's in black and white and it's a sad, video. But color nowadays, I feel like I see everyone's thumbnails and they're so bright, vibrant, and colorful. So that really draws people's attention, especially when you see the color yellow. That brings a lot of people to click to it. So.
Hey, can you guys see us okay now? We changed cameras.
Yeah, you're good.
Looking great.
Well, and that's another thing maybe we can talk about later on is that always be prepared for something. So we got a couple cameras set up. We got a couple different mics, and so we lost our internet earlier, and now we're on an air card. So, and again, thank you for your patience on that. But we're back up.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, but I think what you said about thumbnails is great. I mean, there are some kind of tried and true things on YouTube, but high contrast, high resolution. If there's text, it has to be easy to see on small cell phones all the way through computers. But finding your style and your branding and what stands out for you and what is consistent, and resonates with your audience is kind of it's a trial and error in some cases, but it's a it's a good way to represent your content and really make it stand out from the crowd. It shows the effort that you put into creating the video in a lot of cases.
And also on mobile, most people are viewing on mobile, so it's the biggest thing, especially whenever YouTube has, when you see the icon in the picture, it always has the amount of time that the video is, so you never want to put something in the bottom, like, right-hand corner, because, you know, you can't really see that. So I always, like, try to tune to, like, if I'm updating my thumbnail, I always look on my phone to make sure that it looks good on mobile, because I think almost 70% are on mobile. So.
Yeah.
That's a really good thing. I think you're really kind of hitting the nail right there when you're talking about how important thumbnails are, especially with mobile. I guess kind of going off of thumbnails, because thumbnails are the first thing you see, but you see next kind of the title right attached to the thumbnail. So you kind of have a strategy for titling your videos, and like what do you consider a successful title?
Yeah, you know, it's funny you say that, because she'll have one design and I'll think of something else, and her and I will actually kind of butt heads a little bit, because I'm like, you know, we need to put a bright yellow border around these thumbnails so they stick out, and she's like, no, that's not my style, you know. And then, you know, I use Photoshop or Paint or whatever, you know, and you know, I'll be designing on something that's this big, and I'll have big, you know, lettering that looks good from where I'm seeing it on my desktop, but then when you look at it on a mobile device, you can't read it. So you got to be very careful, because, you know, over 50% of the people are watching YouTube on a mobile device, and that's very important. So since that is the major party that's watching, you got to design it to a mobile size. So if you are putting words on your thumbnail, it's got to be 1, 2, or maybe max of 3 separate words, and I wouldn't go any further than that, and they got to be really big so you can see it on the thumbnail of the phone. Very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and that's a really good point. I mean, the mobile viewing experience is a little bit different than desktop, and thumbnails become smaller and they become that more important. So it's very important to kind of understand both platforms. And what about your titling strategy? What do you consider a successful title, and how do you go about creating your titles for your videos?
I like to come up with creative and original different ideas, but I also like to do certain things that people request. So if people want to see a hair care routine, like, I'll do that, and I'll try to word it to where I always see people doing, for example, a hair care routine. People are like, oh, how do you grow your hair so long? So tips to grow your hair so long. Like, you somehow incorporate that into the title, and that will, if you like, match it up with your description and lengthy description about what it's actually about, you know, them, like the title and the keywords in that description, like, they correlate in a way to where your ranking will show up better on YouTube.
You know, so that's a really good question too, because I think about that constantly. What is the best title? And you know, you could go into the search box on YouTube itself, where you actually type in something that you want, a video that you want to see. So for example, let's say it's about cats. So you're typing in CAT, and then you'll notice that YouTube will actually provide you a drop-down list of particular keywords that are really popular, that are popular in YouTube. Well, look and see if some of those keywords are something that you can actually use in your title, as long as if that's what your video is about.
it has to be related.
Because you don't want to label something cats when it's about a hair tutorial. It's not relatable, and you're going to just make the subscribers upset, and they're going to leave because they're thinking that they're coming to see cats, but it's about hair tutorials.
And another thing is misleading titles. I see that a lot, especially in popular YouTubers who do Q&As, and you're like, wait, I thought this video was about this, and then you're like skimming to try to find the part where they're actually talking about it, because you know that they're only doing that to, you know, get people's attention and want to click on it, which is a really good strategy, but it's like, as a viewer, you're like, what?
Yeah, exactly.
So, make sure that you're kind of showing that in the first few seconds of the video, or at least the first minute of what you're actually titling it. So.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, it's a couple things. Like, one, just from like a policy perspective, you have to make sure your title matches what your video is about, and then two, like, going back to the watch time, you know, you're trying to get people to watch the video along a lot of the time or the whole time. So telling them up front what it's about can only be helpful for, you know, people watching the video for a longer amount of time in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. And then one other thing I'll add, just for the viewers too, you can also use Google Trends. So if you go to google.com/trends, that would be a great place to look for keywords that are trending. And a lot of people don't know you can actually filter that down for YouTube specifically. So you can see what, plug in a few keywords and like see how popular over time these keywords are on YouTube, and even by country, and you can make some choices there about what you might have in a title or even some tags or descriptions.
Yeah, and that's a great point. And the last thing that I would add to that too is just think about yourself. If you're going into YouTube and you want to learn something about, let's say, hairstyles, well, what would you type into that little search box at the top of YouTube? You type in hairstyles. Well, you probably want to name or title your video hairstyles plus whatever, you know.
I always, anytime I want to know something about, like, since we're talking about hairstyles, if it's for school, like every school year I want to like up my hairstyle game, so I'm like school hairstyles, that's literally what I search. So I make sure if I make a video like that it has a certain title like that. So actually I have a video just like that. It almost has like 4 million views because I title it how I would search it. So
yeah, that's a really good point. I think putting yourself in the perspective of an actual viewer, you kind of learn a lot about like what you would search for. And what about your descriptions? How do you go about describing your videos? Do you have like a certain template, or are you strategic kind of per video?
I'd say it really depends on the video. If I know, like, since I do a series called Buy and Try, and I know that that's an original series, no one else does it, I know that no one's going to look up Buy and Try, so I try to make a description that's a little bit more lengthy, that has descriptive keywords of what's actually in the video that people might actually search, like bedhead products or something, so that it gets a little bit more ranking if they were to search something similar to it. So that's what I'd say for those type of videos. But if you were doing like a wisdom teeth video, automatically a wisdom teeth video is probably going to get some views. But if you put a lengthy description and add some like keywords that correlate with it, then you know, you're set.
Yeah, and let me add to that a little bit. You know, and again, Chelsea and I kind of butt heads on this because I'm more on the business end of it. So I'm more, I want to make sure that the first 2 or 3 sentences actually have the keywords of what the video is about, because when you're doing it, when you're looking at search results on YouTube, you'll see the thumbnail, you'll see the title, and then you'll probably see 2 or 3 sentences of a description associated to that. Well, you want to make sure that you grab the person's attention in that first sentence, second sentence, third sentence, because otherwise they're going to move on to someone else's stuff that actually tells them what they're looking for. So tell the people in the first couple of sentences what the video is about, and then make sure that you have your keywords in there. For example, let's go back to the hairstyles video. Make sure you have hairstyles in the title, that your thumbnail has something to do with hairstyles, and then in the first, second, or third sentence of the description, you're talking about hairstyles, because that's what people are there to look for.
Sure.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who, even just big YouTubers, I don't know how they do this, but some of them just literally put, I hope you had a great day, let's get this video to 90,000 likes, and then they don't really put a lengthy description, but I feel like they could still benefit from, you know, putting a lengthy description in there, seriously.
Well, for everyone that's watching, though, I mean, if you're at 10,000 or if you're at 1, it doesn't matter, or at 100,000, always best practices. Always go to the Academy of Google, you know, for YouTube, and look at the information there. But pretty much what I told you, if you guys agree with me, is that have a good thumbnail, have a description on your title that is relate to the video, and that the first 3 sentences relate to, for the description relates to the video. Yeah. And then you can put all your extra stuff in there, you know, how to reach me by email, or here's my blog channel, here's my other channel of YouTube, et cetera, because you want to make sure that people can contact you that way as well.
That's great. Yeah, I agree. And I'll switch gears a little bit. I was next going to ask you guys a little bit about playlists. So how do you guys go about creating playlists? What's your strategy there?
I want to create playlists for the people anyone who wants to go to your channel, you want to tether towards certain people, because not everyone's going to want to watch every single one of your videos unless you have an extremely amazing personality that everything is kind of sort of in the same realm. Like, for example, Jenna Marbles, she just makes videos about whatever she thinks about. So, of course, whatever becomes popular. But for my channel, since I do different types of things like hairstyles, makeup videos, advice videos, like, you obviously want to create different playlists towards everything that you're doing. So hairstyles videos where people can literally just opening it up and they see every single video you've created in that category. And then advice videos, I know that's like one of my top viewed playlists, so I make sure that I get every single thing in there. I also like to create playlists for my friends that I have on YouTube because that gives them exposure, and if you like cross promote each other like that, it's very beneficial for everyone.
And also to add to that, playlist also gives you a great benefit that allows you to have continuous viewings of your video. So for an example, you have a playlist about hairstyles and you have a playlist about makeup. So let's go back to the hairstyles. You do the hairstyles playlist, and every video is a video about Chelsea doing hairstyles. And so once that first video is stopped or is ended, it automatically starts up the next video in that playlist. So you get paid by views on YouTube. So you want people to continuously be watching your videos and viewing them because that's where the money comes about, right? And so if you can send them to a playlist automatically, it's an automatic mode of doing, views. And
yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, of course, if an ad plays and you get paid for that every time a video starts, why not have multiple in a row? That's just a win for monetization. For watch time, again, if you can get someone to watch all the way through to start a new video, but also watch 5 videos in a row, that's going to benefit your whole channel. So, and there's actually now ways to do like automatic add to playlist where you can, based on a title or even a tag, you can add a new video directly to a playlist or playlist that you have. Yeah, that's something I'll share after in the event page. But you can, there's some cool tricks to do that quickly as well.
So playlist is very important. If you don't have a playlist, then I would say it's a must. I mean, if you're newer to YouTube and you're just starting your channel, then playlist is what you need to start with as well.
Yeah, it also makes your channel look more put together in a way, because if you don't have playlists, it just looks like you just have one thing of uploads. And so to make your channel more organized and people to watch more videos, it's just efficient to do that. So. And
you also can do playlists that links to other channels. So for an example, Chelsea has does a 17 before 17 show on the 17 channel, the 17 magazine.
Yeah.
And so she actually has the 17 channel playlist on our channel.
So people can go and watch that from my channel and see me at other channels,
So if you have only 1 or 2 or 3 videos, your channel may not look as full, just like Chelsea said. So you can actually do playlist of other channels, and it will actually add content to your stuff. It'll make you look better. So.
Yeah, that's great. We have about 10 minutes left, so I think we should hop over to some of the questions that were submitted, and hopefully we can get through some of them. I'll ask the first one, the most popular one up here, which is, what is the best time to post based on your time zone? Do you guys have any ideas or thoughts there?
Well, honestly, it depends on you need to know what your audience is. So if you are a teenager like me, then obviously a lot of teenagers go to school, so they're not really going to watch a YouTube video in the middle of their school day, so that would not be a prime time to post. Neither would really be mornings of going to school, because a lot of people are engaged of getting ready and getting to school. So I say that I like to have at least one upload on the weekend, because people get bored during the weekend, and especially on like Christmas break or whatever break, it's great to upload multiple videos during that time. And prime time for me, we like to upload like 2 to 3 CST, which is Central Standard Time. I think it's in California. It's like
it's 2 hours behind us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 10, 12, yeah. Do some math.
Yeah, so that's like the most effective that I've seen. It's just you get more views that way, and you catch people before they go to sleep in different areas of the world. And then on the weekend, you're a little bit more lenient towards time, because I know I stay up till like 12, 1. So.
But for anybody that's new at YouTube and they're just starting out, pick a time, then stay with that time. So if you pick up 5 o'clock in the afternoon, just stay with that time for a while. You'll eventually figure out when people really watch your videos.
And it's not necessarily just the time of day. Like pick 1 to 2 times a week. 2 times a week is prime to upload. But if you have to, 1 time is the least you can really do. So I would pick 1 day of the week. I know that I will always upload on Mondays right now. And then if I have an extra upload, then I'll upload sometime over the weekend. So That's what I like.
Yeah, that's a good point. And a couple things, I guess, from like some of the YouTube data that we found. So you guys are absolutely right. YouTube is global, of course. There's 80% of the views now for YouTube come outside of the U.S. So it would be tough to say like what's the best time zone. I mean, you can know your audience, you can look at the demographic analytics and see what might work well, but it takes some experimentation to see what's best for your audience. There's not a best day of the week necessarily. There probably is for your audience, but it's so specific to your content and your category and where you're from and when you post. Like that, those sorts of things you learn by trial and error. Generally, I'll say, on YouTube as a whole, in your local time, the most popular hours are between like 6 and 10 p.m. local time, wherever you are. But again, it's global, so it's tough to say when the exact best moment for your channel might be.
Yeah. Especially since I know that a lot of... Sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, since I have a lot of views from outside of the U.S., I know that my, time zone, it might be the next day in someone else's time zone. So it's good to actually know that. It's just really important. I would emphasize a lot on that, to know your demographics and stuff.
Yeah, I think you bring up another good point with consistency, just kind of picking a day and sticking to it. Your fans really appreciate knowing when to come back for new content. Another good question we got from the audience, what is the best way to post new types of content while still keeping your original audience?
So, wait, can you say that again?
Yeah, so what is the best way to post like different types of content on your channel while still maintaining your original audience, so the audience that came to you initially based on the content you started out with?
This is a good question, because I have recently, as you grow up, you, I think, not develop different passions, but your passions set more in different things, because you obviously mature more, and I love talking more to camera now than I do applying makeup, so I like to consistently do, my videos called Buy and Try, so I know that those are always going to be uploaded once a month. So if you have certain series that you know that your original people really like, then just know and promise them that you're going to upload them consistently, like once a week or once a month, whatever it is, just something that they always know that's just going to stay true to your channel, and you can still put out different things that you might like. So
yeah, and one thing to encourage people that are starting out is that don't bounce all over the place with 50 different topics. Find something that you naturally love and like to talk about, and go and start there, and maybe branch off left to right just a little bit. So for an example is that if you're doing hair routines or hairstyles, well, the next video you don't want to talk about dogs and cats, because it doesn't relate. Your subscribers are there because you're doing hairstyles. Well, just change up your hairstyles a little bit, or maybe talk about makeup, because that kind of relates, or talk about lifestyle. But, and again, try to stay on topic and be consistent in that, and do something that you really enjoy and like.
Unless you are a channel that does a lot of random stuff, then it's acceptable, and right off the bat, probably people know that you're a very spontaneous person, and they like that about you, so they watch every single video. But you gotta let people know from the get-go, like, what you're about.
Well, you can read your comments and stuff too, because your comments from your people, from your subscribers, really, they tell you, they don't hide behind the internet. Let's put it that way. Or they do hide behind the internet.
Well,
that's what I'm
they do, but they don't.
But they'll tell you what's on their mind. So you'll see a pattern of, hey, I really, someone says, hey, I like your channel, I like your topic, and you see that 150 times. Well, that might be something to think about and listen to, and do it again.
Yeah, that's a good point. We talked a lot about retaining an audience, playlists, watch time. What are some good ways that you guys use to make sure people are watching as much of the video as possible to maintain audience retention?
A lot of fun things that I like to do if I'm sit down talking in front of a camera is I'll go off after I've filmed the talking part of the video, and I'll do inserts of me using something in a funny way, or if I'm doing a video with my friend, I automatically know that the audience retention is going to be better, because if you have another person in the video with you, it's just it's a natural conversation, so it's more of, I guess, not just one-on-one with the camera, which a lot of people are very good at, but if you're starting out your channel and you want to engage a little bit more and have natural conversation with another person, it's really good, and you'll have more audience retention there. But
You can kind of go back to the basics too. You know, tell them what you're going to tell them. You tell them, and then you say, well, this is what I just told you. So you're kind of giving them an anticipation of what's going to be coming 3, 4, 5 minutes into the video. Then you tell them then you tell them, and then you tell them what you told them. I mean, you can start off with that. You got to be somewhat entertaining at the very beginning. Don't just start off talking and being boring and stuff like that. It doesn't mean that you have to be jumping up and down and doing cartwheels every time, but be energetic, be entertaining, and get to the point quickly, because you got about the first 15 seconds to 30 seconds to attract that person and hold them there to actually see the meat of the content. So really focus on the first 30 seconds to make sure that it's entertaining, that you're grabbing their attention.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Another question that we got, how do you go about branding your channel? This is something we mentioned in the beginning. What do you use to kind of personalize and brand on YouTube?
I used to not be very well, like, obviously I've evolved a little bit, but in the beginning I did kind of more random stuff. I didn't really know what my style was. I think I was developing as a person, so you could see that on my channel as well, which is obviously something good to look at, 'cause someone's growing. But just in terms of like a banner and your profile picture, always make sure that your profile picture is close up to your face so that you know who this person is, unless you're known for like doing handstands or something like that, then maybe do a handstand in your picture. But in terms of someone coming to your channel for the first time, they want to see something that's polished, they want to see something that's clean, with a nice banner that maybe tells you what the channel's about, and also that you should always tell them to subscribe so that they can come back and watch the videos and they'll show up in your subscription feed. And yeah, playlists, all that stuff just comes into it.
Yeah. One last question that we'll have time for, and I wanted to get to this, was it's one thing to have a lot of viewers, but it's another one, and it's really valuable to have a lot of subscribers. And then you kind of started mentioning some of the stuff, but how do you go about converting someone who just watches a video to a subscriber of your channel?
Well, I think you have to add a lot of your personality, and not everyone's going to subscribe to you because not everyone in the world likes every single person. So you just kind of have to accept the fact that the amount of views is not going to be the amount of subscribers that you have, but just trying to just be true to yourself and also be entertaining in the topic of videos that you do, you're well at talking about or well at acting, singing, whatever you do. It just flows and people can see that.
And another thing you can do too is you ask for people to subscribe. So for an example,
it's not a bad thing to
everyone that's watching right now, we ask you to come and subscribe to Delicious Insider. So,
don't promote yourself.
I think that's an overlooked thing that people like. How do I have a great video? How do they subscribe? I mean, you always just have to ask. I mean, the best way to ask in the video, you can have it in your banner, in your description. You can have certain annotations like in video programming to subscribe. There's all these ways, but I think you also touched on other things, which is have the personality, tell people what they can expect, build your community, make them excited, tell them when they can expect content. And I think all of these things like kind of accumulate into growing an audience.
Yeah, and also treating them like they're friends pretty much, and that you're sitting next to them at the dinner table and just creating a relationship. I know a lot of people, YouTubers especially in the beauty community, call their subscribers like Cookie Monsters or Insiders, or just coming up with a cool name like that. It makes them feel like they're accepted and a part of something, so that makes them more engaged and want to come back for more things like that.
Great. Well, we're going to have to wrap up, but I wanted to thank you guys so much for joining us. I wanted to tell everyone on the Hangout that we're actually going to be back tomorrow, and we're going to have another 45 minutes to catch up. So sorry to everyone whose questions we didn't get to. We'll bump those to the top, or make sure to submit those again tomorrow if you'd like to join us. And I think tomorrow maybe we'll spend a few minutes maybe hopping into some of your production tips, as you mentioned. I think that would be great for the group. And we'll also have a bunch of other questions that we didn't get to that we'll have time for tomorrow. So thank you guys again. Thank you everyone in the Hangout. I wanted to let you know also we're going to be working to post this on our YouTube Creator Academy channel in the next few weeks. So for anyone who missed it, you can look for it there a few weeks from now.
Great. Thank you for having me, and I'm glad I got to talk to all you guys about this type of stuff. And
yeah, and one last thing is that you guys can do it. You know, you new creators, anyone can do this. We did it. We didn't know what we were doing, and sometimes we still don't know what we're doing, but you guys can do it. Just start and continue to do it.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Great,
Bye now.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
bye, guys.